because the biggest problem in medicine, I think, is the problem that you can't go back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Naturally, time only goes in one direction, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
so when you make some change, that change is permanent.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's not that way for everything, because if you write an article or write a story, you can go back and you can change
Mm-hmm.
it. Yeah, if you try to record a song or something, you can go back and you can change something in the
Mm-hmm.
song. So not everything is
Mm-hmm.
fixed. Not everything is
Mm-hmm.
permanent.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But with the medical profession, you you're constantly building,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't go backwards. You can't deconstruct. You can only construct.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A lot of problems that we know, they come and they go, right? There's still many things that we don't understand.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, but there are many examples of cancers that come and they go.
Mm-hmm.
The body fights them, and
Yes. Mm-hmm.
they go away. It's and here's something that people forget. People think medicine makes you better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's not
It's not true.
true. Mm-hmm.
It's not true. I'll tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
Your body makes you better. Your body makes you better, not the medicine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not the medicine, it's your body. It's your body that functions to make you healthy. It's not the medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And when people forget that, people think, oh, the the
Mm-hmm.
the doctor cured me. No, your body cured you.
Mm-hmm.
Your body cured you.
Sometimes it is not possible.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Sometimes we
yeah.
need.
Well, yeah. Look, if you're in a car accident and you have a
Mm-hmm.
broken arm or something, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
obviously,
Mm-hmm.
you in that respect, the human body is like Lego, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you break apart,
Kladečka.
and yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
you put another
Mm-hmm.
part back on. That's it's uh, crazy, but that's true. But you put the parts together, and then the body does the rest
Mm-hmm.
of the work, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's your body that heals you. It's your body that makes you better.
Mm-hmm.
And also, um, and interestingly, that's an internal mechanism. It's your body that makes you better, but it's usually the environment that makes you sick, which is an
Mm-hmm.
external mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that a lot of things,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times we have a problem is we have a problem when something's in the middle, because something doesn't work inside and something doesn't
Mm-hmm.
work
Yes.
outside, and these things
Mm-hmm.
compound each other to make a
Mm-hmm.
to make a bigger problem. In my opinion, it's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the important work of the doctor is the important work of the doctor outside of the hospital is is psychological.
Mm-hmm.
It's psychological because a lot of illnesses and sicknesses are psychosomatic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think that if people have a health problem that comes and goes,
Mm-hmm.
you need to see a psychologist
Mm-hmm.
as much as a doctor,
Mm-hmm.
because we don't yet understand the power of the mind to make people healthy and make people sick. And if your thinking is bad, then everything will be bad. If your thinking is bad, if your processes are bad, if your logic is bad, right?
Yes.
And bad logic is everywhere.
Yes.
There are many, many, many parents who put a mask on their children.
Your children don't have masks,
Well,
face
no,
masks.
no, because I know how to read and
Yes.
and listen,
Mm-hmm.
and I can listen to doctors and listen to different opinions from different
Mm-hmm.
sides, not just
Mm-hmm.
one perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And I can apply logic and reason, and that's why I mentioned education, because I can understand
Mm-hmm.
history.
Mm.
Yeah, and I know how basic biology works.
Mm.
So I don't have a deep understanding, but I know I know that everything in the world that exists for a reason.
Mm.
Every every plant is important. Every tree is important.
Mm.
Every animal is important. Every
Mm.
molecule is
Mm-hmm.
important
Yes.
because it's all an interconnected structure of our
Mm-hmm.
planet, right?
Yes.
If the if the bees
Mm-hmm.
die, then the flowers die,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
right? If
Mm.
if if one species of animal
Mm.
dies,
Mm.
then either another species will increase or another
Mm-hmm.
species will die.
Mm-hmm.
There will be an
Mm-hmm.
effect.
Yes.
There's there's no real vacuum or
Mm-hmm.
space in the universe.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Everything moves to
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
fill
Mm-hmm.
some space
Yes.
or some place.
Mm.
And in terms of the human body, we are optimalized after hundreds of thousands of years to live on this
Mm.
planet. We are optimalized.
Mm.
Human evolution.
Yes.
My, the body lives naturally within the natural
Mm.
environment.
Mm.
And when we don't live naturally, we live in toxic places,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and that's dangerous. It's also
Mm.
it's also interesting to understand that
Mm.
not everything exists for a reason. Everything has a place, but not everything is good for us
Good. Yes.
as
A lot
as
of
well.
things is not good for us in nowadays.
Well, there's a lot of synthetic
Mm-hmm.
reality.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people trying to look younger
Yes.
than they actually are,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
The funny thing is that somebody asks somebody, "Oh, how old are you?" And they say,
Mm-hmm.
"I'm
Mm-hmm.
45." And they say, "Oh, wow, you look 35." But
Yeah.
you have the the funny thing is you have to tell them you're 45. So you have to tell them your real age anyway. So it doesn't make any difference at the end of the day. And
They are women. who want to look younger than younger.
Yeah, well, it's crazy because, like, when you're 13, you want to be 18, right? But when you're 40, you want to be 20, right?
Of course.
So people are never happy. They're never happy. They're never satisfied.
Aging process is no nature.
Oh yeah, everything dies, right? Everything dies, and what happens next is a question mark, right? Because nobody is really sure. But yeah, we are surrounded by an understanding that everything dies, everything has its period. A lot of problems in people's lives are because they won't let something die. And everything dies, both physically and sort of metaphorically. You know, your interest in something dies. Your energy for something dies. Industries and occupations and jobs die. It's part of the evolutionary cycle of the world that we live in. But people in general don't understand that that anymore. And I was thinking about that today. I was thinking about that balance of there's no life without risk, right? There's no life without risk, and unless you have risks, you don't understand life. And I think people forgot that. Most people, like, all business is risk. All business is risk. Tomorrow, your business could be gone for whatever reason. Maybe government changes the rules. Maybe there's a fire in your building or something like that. Yeah, and maybe something else. And you can and business must die sometimes so that other things can develop and evolve. Everything has a life cycle, but people don't seem to understand that. Okay, practical example, right? Take this vaccine. Why? It will make you healthy, right? It will make you healthy. It will make you healthier for longer. But think about this. Think about this. Maybe you need to get sick. Maybe you actually need to be sick, right? The same way you need to look older, right? Maybe you need to get sick so that the body builds its strength and its resistance. The same way through physical activity or through exercise, right?
Yes.
It's not like take these pills and you will develop muscles. It doesn't work like that.
Yes. Yes.
It doesn't work like that. There's no magic formula for everything. And I like to think of it in this way. I like to think of it that God was right. That's how I think. I think God was right. When God created the universe or the opportunity for life, he understood. There was a logic there. He understood that we need a life cycle. We need time. He understood the need for the need for some things to be longer, some things to be shorter, some things to be faster, some things to be slower. Right? I mean, we don't. Everything has its cycle, and we don't do this with animals. We don't want gorillas to live for 500 years or rabbits to live for 100 years. We know that that's not the right way. Um, it what happens when everybody lives forever,
Mm.
right? I mean, that's
Mm.
obviously not.
That was nice.
Well, it's obviously a crazy idea.
Yeah.
It's obviously a crazy idea.
We can't look young when we are 60, 70.
Yeah, and we don't want to, because what we need to learn is about who we are and where we are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, and time tells us some truth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some people, when they get older, they they in their face you can see if they're happy or not, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
the more you smile, the more you develop these lines at the corner of your
Mm-hmm.
eyes,
Mm-hmm.
and because you're happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the people who are not happy, um, well, they have a face like a
Mm-hmm.
like a fist. Yeah,
Uh,
it's all
mm,
tied up and tight and
mm-hmm. Happened to them. Mm-hmm.
yeah, and
Mm.
you can see it in their face, and there's no way to change it or hide it. You know, your plastic surgery doesn't work.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Right?
But a lot of women want
Yeah, and
to use plastic surgery.
I can tell you one thing about that.
Mm.
Any woman who wants plastic surgery has no good friends. Has
Mm.
no good friends,
Mm.
because your good friends will, you know,
Mm.
they'll slap you, right? You've seen you, you've seen the old Western films, right, where
Mm.
someone is like,
Yes.
right?
Simply, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yep, yep, yep. And
Problem is out.
yep, exactly, exactly. And
Mhm.
everything we do leads to something else, and you never get, once you change one part of your body, then you want to change
Mm.
another part and change another
Mm.
part and change another part.
Mhm.
And who is it for, right? Who is it for? Is it for you,
Mm.
really? I
Mm.
mean, I don't think it
Mm.
is. I think you're doing it for other people, and other
Mhm.
people
Mhm.
other people will never be happy.
Mhm. Ah,
Right?
yes.
Right? If people don't like you for who you are, they will not like you for who you are not.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's
Mm.
and people don't tell this to each other, right? People don't tell this to each other, that if you are an actor on day one, you have to be an actor every day,
Mhm.
and
Mm.
this is tiring, right? It's exhausting.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm. Yeah.
exhausting. It's exhausting to always be somebody else,
Mm.
and not yourself. And
Yes.
there's, and then and then it gets crazier, because so so nobody told you it's a bad idea.
Mhm.
Well, then you don't have any friends.
Mhm.
And if you don't have any friends, because, to be honest, friends are
Mhm.
not people who support you whatever you do. That's not a friend. A friend is somebody who will place borders and limitations on things, because that's what we need to survive in life.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yes.
I like
Mm-hmm.
in my relationship with Yanka
Mm-hmm.
tells me what her borders and her limits are, and I
Mm-hmm.
tell her what my borders and my limits are,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
and we work together, right?
Mm.
If she says everything is okay and I say everything is okay, then psychologically nothing is okay
Yes. Yeah.
because everything is nothing because it's not
Mm-hmm.
concrete, right? It's not. It's like a you can do whatever you want. That's
Mm.
not good,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
That's
Mm.
that because it doesn't mean that. It means within limits,
Mm.
right? Right, within limits of being moral and being polite about things. And it's the that there's a whole industry
Mm.
that is
Mm-hmm.
built
Yes.
on people being unhappy. There's a lot of books on it, books about it as well. It's
Mm.
how to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted. Here's a little story. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted when I started my writing with my books.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to write a book
Mm-hmm.
that would help people to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did a lot of reading and a lot of looking at different metrics and things for happiness. And
Mm-hmm.
my conclusion is can't be done.
Mm-hmm.
It's not possible because everyone is so individual
Yes.
and everybody changes and should change daily or regularly on a regular
Mm-hmm.
basis that there's not one magical system or one magical method
Mm-hmm.
that will work for everybody. There's not, and it's more, and we see it with society where people think this one thing is going to solve all the problems. If we just gonna have this one thing
Mm-hmm.
and this
Mm-hmm.
one thing,
Mm-hmm.
this new political party or a new prime minister or a new president or this latest book or the new film or the magic pill, right?
Yes.
The one thing that's going to solve it, but
Mm-mm.
it's always a lie. It's always a lie. It never happens that
Mm.
one thing comes
Mhm.
along and solves all the problems. Even as a society, right? We live through connections with many people.
Yes.
It's life is a team sport, right?
Yeah.
We can't navigate it alone. We need uh, so many different people, and so that's why whenever somebody says this one thing is going to help you, it's always wrong, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
It's always wrong. It might help you for a short period of time, but but only that.
Mhm.
Like like the paracetamol, right? It's
Mhm.
going to help you for a short period of time, but then you have to change your habits. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, oh, everybody in the world will be safe if we have a lockdown.
Mhm.
Okay, okay, 1 week, 2 weeks, okay, longer than 2 weeks. It's just stupid. It's just
Mhm.
stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to not have a brain to think that.
Mhm.
Or if everybody just wears a mask, everything's going to be fine. Of course
Mhm.
it's not.
Mm. Yeah. I understand that. Mhm.
Of course it's not. There's not going to be one magical solution because of the nature of the world. Even
Mm.
the human body is different chemicals
Mhm. Yes.
and different molecules working
Yes.
together.
Yes.
And so we need all these different
Mm.
elements to survive. And everybody is looking for the one thing,
Mm.
right? The one. the one person who is going to make everything wonderful and brilliant. Well,
Mm-hmm.
there's not going to be
Mm-hmm.
just one person. Like I was telling one of my clients years ago that
Mm-hmm.
that so you live in Slovakia, you will have a Slovak boyfriend. You go to Germany, you'll have a German boyfriend. You go to Brazil, you'll have a Brazilian boyfriend. You go to Australia, you have an Australian boyfriend, right? You think there's just one?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can think there's just one. That's okay. You can think there's just one, but I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
tell you right now there's not.
Mm-hmm.
There's not just one because you will improvise and adapt and maybe change no matter where you are
Mm-hmm.
in in the world. So this one solution to the problem is always a lie. It's like get your
Mm-hmm.
education. No, maybe not. Get the certificate.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not. Right? Uh, it's